if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away.
Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Each week, your host, Jessica Cross, dives into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take your business from A to B and have some fun along the way. Grab some tea and pull up a seat. Let's dive into this episode.
Welcome back to Marketing Off the Mat. It's Jess, and I'm so glad that you're here for this solo episode today. You're stuck with me. Oh, it's okay. maybe that's okay, right? So, I really wanted to talk today about pricing. And I think one of the most common questions that I get from my clients, questions that I get in the DMs is, I have this amazing idea. I'm ready to do it, but I have no idea how to price it. And I think that's such a common and relatable question. So I'd love to chat a little bit about that with you here today. So have you ever had that spark of insight for something when you're like, I'm so excited about this. The venue comes together, the offering and the curriculum and how it's all going to lay out. And, you're excited to post it and share it with everyone. It's something that people have been craving. And then you just don't know how to price it. It's that age-old question that just pops up. So, sometimes this very question is what stops us in our tracks from taking any action at all. So that's why I want to talk about it today and how to dispel this natural inclination to really get stuck on price, which is super relatable. And I want to give you 3 steps today to help you move forward when, I'm going to say when, not even if, when this question comes up. All right. Step number 1, 3 steps to pricing your offer. Step 1 is do your market research. So a casual glance at Google is going to tell you a lot about what's going on in your area, be it if it's local or in your specific niche in the ways that you teach or the online offerings that you offer. Just Google it, y'all. Not to be super simple about it, but pop in some keywords, the different offerings. If we're talking about sound therapy, that's if you follow me, you probably know that another side of my business is called Sound for Stress. And so when I was starting Sound for Stress, I was like, well, what do people charge for sound baths in my area? And I just opened up a spreadsheet, popped in a couple of links and some prices, and started seeing some trends. Now, maybe you're not a spreadsheet person. You could write it down in a journal, or you could pop open a Word doc, but pick something and track it. Start seeing trends. See the length of the offering versus the price. See the location of the offering, the size of the venue versus the price. Just start noticing some trends, and that might kind of help you get in the general area of where you want to land on your price. I really love to see the comparison when I put this all together, because you can save it for later. You can even date it and return to it at a later date when you're looking to price something. You can see what's changed and kind of go from there. So do your market research is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is, what is the price that you're comfortable charging? Okay, comfortable is the key word. So if you are offering a sound and a yoga 75-minute practice in the park, which if you're listening, dear listener and friend Erica is recently did, what price are you comfortable charging? And what's that first number that pops in mind? See how that aligns with your market research, which is step number 1. Can you edge it up just a bit? So if you see people charging $5 for that 75-minute sound and yoga experience, those aren't your people, because that's not the way that you're actually going to make a living as a teacher. And, plus those people, they're going to come around when it's time, but you are in this to help people, to make money doing so you can continue to do both of those things. So you're going to pick a number that you're comfortable with and then edge it up just a bit. And why do we edge it up? So one, that helps your nervous system in a way that we're basically practicing being a little unsafe, feeling maybe slightly uncomfortable, not crazy uncomfortable, but just a little bit up from that comfort level. Number two, we're giving ourselves some room. Therefore, if you need to offer some sort of brand ambassador discount, if you want to invite people to come attend, maybe you want to do a flash sale for early birds as you're announcing it, you have some room to come down a little bit, which is still in the price that is going to make you some money and is still within the market research. And actually, I told you 3, but I'm going to give you a bonus step here at the end. So 3. So our first 3 steps in pricing our offers. Number 1, do your market research. Number 2, check in with what you're comfortable charging and edge up a bit from there. Number 3, do you have a budget? Do you have a budget for your event? So let's say you're hosting this yoga and sound event out at the park. If it were me, I would open up a different spreadsheet, or however I'm comfortable, and track all of the expenses that I'm going to incur to host this workshop. It might be pretty minimal. It might be a short list, but this is a very good exercise for when and if you start doing bigger events. As an example, I host retreats. And if you're going to start hosting retreats, the very first thing I suggest for you is to build your budget, because that is how you're going to build your price. It all folds in. Of course, we're doing market research, and the comfort level is a part of that too. But, these bigger offerings 100% rely on you having a budget. It's not just picking a number, unfortunately, because you want to make sure that you're covering your costs and getting paid. So this is a really, really good opportunity for you as you're doing workshops, classes, online offerings, to start looking at the costs that you incur when you host these events. So that's tip number 3. Build your budget, make it simple, track everything, be realistic with those numbers. Okay, bonus tip. We'll call it the bonus tip. This is probably the biggest step, I would say, in pricing your offerings. Are you ready? Pick something. You got to pick something, guys. You have to pick a number, because if there is something that's holding you back with picking that perfect number, you don't want to pick the wrong one because you're afraid no one's going to buy. People will judge you. You're not all of the things that our brain serves up to us when we start talking about money and in exchange of money and energy with people for the service that we're putting out into the world. You might get stuck here. So don't let yourself ruminate too long. Pick a price and go with it. You're going to learn so much from just putting this offer out. You're going to take that into the next workshop, the next course, the class, maybe retreats, trainings, whatever it is that you have in your mind as a dream goal. You're going to learn. And then the next one is going to be just 1%, maybe just even 0.5% or 1%, a little bit easier for you to do. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you on Instagram. You can hit me up in the DMs. It's at jessicacross.co. How do you determine your prices? Do you get stuck in the pricing process? Has this ever been something that's kind of tripped you up when putting out offers for your events? I'd love to know more. And I'd love to know too if you have other tips, because I can always learn from you as well. So we're always in the seat of the student, no matter if we're the teacher or the podcast host or the coach. We're always learning from one another. So share your tips with me too. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, that you got something out of it, and that you're going to start pricing and putting out your offerings. Sending you so much love. Keep showing up.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast, and give yourself some gratitude for taking action in your wellness business journey. Please share this episode with someone you know who could use a fresh dose of inspiration. And we'd be thrilled if you would rate, review, and subscribe to Marketing Off the Mat on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Want to share an idea with Jessica? DM her at jessicacross.co on Instagram to continue the conversation or find out how she can help you take the next right step in your business. Until next time, stay inspired and keep showing up.